You've thought about death. Everyone has. But you've probably never thought about what death actually does to your cells, your organs, your skin, your brain, the physical sequence of events that begins the moment you stop. Most people find it disturbing. I think it's one of the most fascinating things biology has ever produced, because here's what nobody tells you. Death isn't a moment. It's a process, and your body doesn't go quietly. Let's start with the heart. When it stops, the assumption is that everything stops with it. The lights go out, the machine shuts down. Clean, simple, over. That's not what happens. What actually happens is that your cells don't get the message right away. For several minutes after your heart stops beating, your individual cells are still alive, still consuming oxygen, still trying to do their jobs. Your liver cells are still filtering, your kidney cells are still processing, your neurons are still firing. The body you spent your entire life living inside keeps running without you because biologically it doesn't know you're gone yet. The first thing that changes is your brain. Within 10 to 20 seconds of cardiac arrest, you lose consciousness. But the brain doesn't go dark. In 2013, researchers at the University of Michigan recorded the brain activity of rats in the moments after cardiac arrest and found something nobody expected: a massive surge of electrical activity, more coordinated, more intense than anything recorded during normal waking life. The brain, in its final seconds, wasn't shutting down. It was firing on all cylinders. Some researchers think this might explain near-death experiences, the tunnel of light, the life review, the feeling of extraordinary calm. Your brain, starved of oxygen and burning through its last reserves, producing the most vivid experience of your entire life in the final moments before it goes dark. Within 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen, brain cells begin to die. This is why the window for resuscitation is so narrow. By the time 10 minutes have passed, the damage to the brain is typically irreversible, but the rest of your body is still very much in play. About 15 to 30 minutes after death, something called Livor mortis begins. Your heart is no longer pumping blood, so gravity takes over. Blood settles to the lowest parts of your body, pooling in the tissue, turning the skin a deep reddish purple in those areas. Forensic scientists use this to determine how long someone has been dead and whether the body was moved after death. Your blood, without a pump, becomes evidence. At the same time, your cells start breaking down from the inside. Every cell in your body contains structures called lysosomes. Think of them as the cell's waste disposal system. In life, they're carefully contained. In death, they rupture. They release enzymes that begin digesting the cell from within. This process is called autolysis, and it's exactly what it sounds like: self-digestion. Your body quite literally begins eating itself from the inside out, starting at the cellular level, then moving outward. The organs with the highest concentration of these enzymes go first. The pancreas, because it's packed with digestive enzymes, essentially liquefies itself within hours. Then, roughly 2 to 3 hours after death, rigor mortis sets in. Your muscles, without ATP, the chemical that allows muscle fibers to relax, lock in place. The proteins inside your muscle fibers bind together and stay bound. Your body stiffens completely. Every muscle, from your jaw to your eyelids to your hands. It peaks at around 12 hours and then begins to release as the muscle tissue itself starts to break down. By 48 hours, your body is soft again. And here's the part that's hard to understand if you think of death as an ending. You are not alone in this process. The moment your immune system stops functioning, the bacteria that have lived inside you your entire life, trillions of them, mostly in your gut, are no longer contained. They begin migrating through your intestinal walls into surrounding tissue. They start consuming you. The same microbiome that helped you digest food, that lived in balance with your immune system for decades, begins the process of returning you to the environment. This is putrefaction, and it is not a failure of your body. It is your body completing its final function, releasing every atom it borrowed back into the world. Within weeks, what remains is largely skeletal. Within years, depending on conditions, even that is gone. The 7 billion atoms that made up your body scatter back into soil, water, air. Some of them will end up in plants, some in animals, some in other people. The atoms you're made of right now have been inside stars, inside dinosaurs, inside the ocean floor. After you, they'll go somewhere else. You are not their final destination. You're just the latest stop. And here's the part that gets me. Every single thing that happens after you die, the electrical surge in your brain, the blood pooling under gravity, the cells digesting themselves, the bacteria reclaiming the body, all of it has been happening to every human who ever lived, to every person you've ever loved, to every person who ever changed the world or was forgotten by it. The same sequence, the same process. No exceptions. You've thought about death, but you've probably never thought about what it actually does, how methodical it is, how biological, how completely indifferent to who you were or what you built or who was waiting for you to come home. Death isn't the opposite of life. It's the last thing life does, and when it happens to you, your body will already know exactly what to do.